Hey gamers! Today we're diving into a highly anticipated title, Dragon Age: The Veilguard. BioWare is back in action, and everyone's hoping this new project will live up to the legacy of its renowned series. Let's break down everything we know about this game and see what we can expect. The story of Dragon Age focuses on the battle against Solus, an ancient elven god who aims to destroy the Veil. As the antagonist, Solus seeks to restore the ancient elven world, even if it means the destruction of the current one. The main character, Rook, embarks on a perilous journey to prevent this catastrophe. Assisting Rook are Varric, Scout Harding, and Detective Nev Gallus. These characters play key roles in the narrative and aid Rook in his mission. Solus, also known as the Dreadwolf, is a complex and multi-layered antagonist. His motivation isn't just about destruction. He believes that breaking the Veil will restore the world to its true, ancient form. This conflict between the old and new worlds provides a deep, dramatic foundation for the story. As the game progresses, Rook and his companions will face moral dilemmas and difficult choices that will impact the storyline and its conclusion. The game begins with Rook receiving the task to stop Solus. Throughout the missions, players learn more about Solus's past, his vision for the future, and his reasons for choosing this path. Uncovering ancient secrets and conspiracies will be a crucial part of the narrative, adding intrigue and tension. The game uses the updated Frostbite engine, allowing for incredibly realistic textures, lighting, and effects. Locations are detailed to the finest aspects. Dense forests, ancient ruins, and dark dungeons look stunning. The visual component of the game is top-notch and is one of the project's strong points. One of the new engine's features is dynamic lighting, which changes based on the time of day and weather conditions. This creates a more lively and realistic world where players can observe the transition from day to night and various weather phenomena. For example, thick fogs, heavy rains, and bright sunshine add depth and atmosphere to the game's locations. Character detailing is also excellent. Every character, whether the protagonist or secondary NPCs, is highly detailed with realistic animations. This makes interactions with them more believable and emotionally rich. Special attention is given to facial expressions and movements, allowing for a wide range of emotions and reactions. And I'll be expressing many positive emotions if you subscribe to my channel and like this video. You can control your character in real time and use a pause feature for tactical combat planning. This combination allows players to approach battles flexibly and strategically use their character's abilities. One of the interesting features of the game is the interaction with the environment. This includes using spells to destroy obstacles, activating mechanisms, and employing tactical maneuvers on the battlefield. Such elements make the gameplay more dynamic and engaging. Players can use various environmental objects to their advantage, such as collapsing walls to create new paths or using natural elements to attack enemies. This adds tactical variety and makes each battle unique. Additionally, interacting with the environment can influence the storyline and quest completion, offering new paths and solutions. In Dragon Age: The Veilguard appears somewhat simplified compared to previous installments. It resembles an action RPG with tactical elements, but many fans note that this strays from the series' roots. The focus is on dynamic battles with a pause feature for tactical commands. You can control your character in real time and give orders to companions. Gameplay videos show that the game looks beautiful, but some combat system elements raise questions. Specifically, the battles seem less tactical and more action-oriented, which might not appeal to longtime fans of the series. However, developers claim that the game will have enough depth and tactics to satisfy those accustomed to the old Dragon Age games. In Dragon Age: The Veilguard, there is an option to switch between real-time and pause modes, allowing players to plan their actions strategically and command allies. This enables the use of various combinations of abilities and attacks to deal with enemies effectively. Additionally, combat scenes include environmental interactions, such as breaking barriers or using natural elements to attack enemies, adding tactical variety. The Veilguard also offers a rich world based on history and mythology. In the game, you can encounter various cultural elements that add depth to the plot and atmosphere. This includes architectural features and cultural aspects such as music, folklore, and traditions. The world of Thedas is rich with history and myths woven into the gameplay. Players can explore ancient ruins, learn local legends and traditions, and participate in cultural events, making the world feel alive and authentic. These elements help players better understand and immerse themselves in the world's history, its people, and their relationships. One of the key elements of atmosphere in any game is sound. The soundtrack of Dragon Age, the Veilguard, based on leaks and preliminary reviews, promises to be top-notch. Composers aim to create unique musical compositions that will highlight the emotional moments of the plot and set the mood in various locations. Sound effects are also meticulously crafted, adding realism to the gameplay. The development history of Dragon Age the Veilguard is full of interesting events and changes. Initially announced as Dragon Age Dreadwolf, the game went through several development stages, including changes in project leaders and concept revisions. The main goal was to create a game that could bring BioWare back to the top of the RPG industry after a series of failures. Leadership changes. Throughout development, the project was led by several different teams, leading to changes in vision and concepts. Renaming. The game was renamed from Dragon Age Dreadwolf to Dragon Age the Veilguard. This change was aimed at emphasizing the companions and their role in protecting the Veil. Technical challenges. Using the Frostbite engine presented both opportunities and challenges. Developers aimed to create the most realistic graphics and dynamic environments. Fan feedback. Early trailers and game demos received mixed reviews. BioWare closely monitored community feedback and made changes based on the feedback received. Not everyone received the game unambiguously. The initial reaction to the trailer was quite negative. Many fans expected a darker and more serious tone, similar to Dragon Age Origins. The trailer's tone seemed too lighthearted and more reminiscent of a Marvel style, which drew criticism. However, after the release of the 20-minute gameplay trailer, reactions became more mixed. Graphics and design received praise, but the combat system raised questions. It seemed too simple and linear to many, lacking the depth and tactical elements of previous installments. Nevertheless, developers assure that the game is almost ready and that they are working on bug fixes and polishing. It's important to note that BioWare has experience creating high-quality RPGs, and many hope that Dragon Age will mark the studio's return to its roots. As someone who grew up on BioWare games and spent many hours playing Dragon Age Origins, I've been eagerly awaiting the release of Dragon Age the Veilguard. Personally, I think BioWare has finally found its niche after a series of setbacks. The initial impressions of the gameplay and graphics are quite positive. First, let's talk about the game's visual aspect. The game looks beautiful, and although the graphics might not reach the level of the latest releases, they are still good enough. The Frostbite engine clearly handles its task, and BioWare has managed to create a world that players will want to explore. But of course, there are some doubts. The gameplay, as shown in the trailers, seems somewhat simplified. It resembles Final Fantasy XV more, with an emphasis on action rather than the tactical decisions that were characteristic of the original Dragon Age. This might disappoint old-school fans expecting a deep and complex combat system. Nevertheless, I'm glad that BioWare focuses on characters and their interactions. Team dynamics and the possibility of romantic relationships with any of the companions, regardless of their race and gender, seem like steps in the right direction. This adds depth and variability, which has always been a strong point of BioWare games. It will be interesting to see how the game develops further and how the community reacts to it. Personally, I hope BioWare can restore its reputation and offer us a truly memorable adventure. Community reacts to it. Personally, I hope BioWare can restore its reputation and offer us a truly memorable adventure.